Hello and welcome to Lakers Live postgame show presented by the Ultimate Sports Show. Joined by Manny as always. Medina is out for the postgame show tonight. A lot of things to talk about, Manny. A lot of frustrated fans, for rightfully so. Frustrated team, frustrated probably front office. A lot of attention surrounding the Lakers right now. Dropped another game again. This is 3 in a row. Not what we expected tonight. I mean, we were going in high hopes. They won the first quarter, and then the second quarter and beyond. When you get outscored 40-21 in the second quarter, there's some issues that need to be addressed, and also to add on, LeBron James as well came out the rest of the fourth quarter, which he didn't even need to. I mean, honestly, he didn't need to play. Sore right ankle. Not surprised because it is his second game back, so he is going to probably have some soreness, which is normal. Manny, not what we expected tonight from the Lakers.
Nope, we didn't expect that. We lost a pretty bad game. Like you said, Aaron, we played good in the first quarter. But now, it didn't go really good. As usual, we forgot how to shoot. We shot 37% from 3. Okay, but Anthony Davis, 0 for 3, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, it's a good stat line. Just, you shot like crap from 3. LeBron James, as well, 2 for 5 from 3, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Good stat line, just can't shoot. Drummond played good, in my opinion. He had 19 points, 11 rebounds. Your guy actually had a good night. I'll give Drummond credit, at least. Because, we got him for a reason, and we didn't get a reason to stick him to joint. Caruso, I remember we touched a bit about him in the pregame show. He had some good moments. First quarter, he had a nice dunk. Rest of the game, where are we going to find him? He's nowhere to be found. KCP shot good from 3, but KCP isn't the problem.
No.
Kuzma, we talked a bit about him. He played very good in the first quarter. I think he was shooting like 3 for 4 from 3 on that, but then he goes back to shooting 11 threes and shooting 16 field goals. There's not much to touch up on, Aaron. It's just, we play like crap. Living in Canada, I'm probably going to get slandered like crazy because we lost to the Raptors, and they played great, the Raptors. Yeah. I have to admit, as much as I don't like losing, and I'm a diehard Laker fan, I gotta give credit where credit's due.
Exactly.
Siakam had 39 points, 13 rebounds. Kyle Lowry had 37 points. Lakers, maybe we should have traded for him in the deadline. As much as I didn't want to give up THT, maybe we should have traded him. I don't know. Maybe we should have traded for him because he could have been useful for us. We need that third scorer. And shout out to my boy Tice. Yeah, we're all upset. We are all upset right now. But what can you do? I thought I was gonna be like more upset, but I feel more sad. Like, what the hell is going on, guys? Like, we lost 6 out of our last 7 games. We started off as this, like, Aaron, listen to this. We started off as the 2nd seed in the West. Then all the injuries go down. Out of nowhere, we just lose our chemistry completely. The defense, apparently from number 1 in the NBA, now we're giving up like 113 points a game. I'm trying to stay calm, but...
wait, yes. Here's
I don't know what to say.
It's horrible. We're all talking about, guys. Courtesy of Spectrum Sportsnet. Shout out to them and their network. Always do a fantastic job.
Facts.
As well. But, I mean, the last 9 games here, Manny, there's nothing really to speak on. The biggest thing that I'm frustrated on, and what you touched on, is the 113 points you're giving up a game. We were giving up. We had at one point one of the best defensive teams to start, but obviously injuries added up to this. It wasn't, it's not something that people are happy about. Nobody's happy about this. I mean, you're shooting almost 50%, and then at least 40% from three. That's what teams are going to do. Obviously, Kyle Lowry had a terrific game. There's not much more I could say about him. I mean, he absolutely just came out there and shot the ball terrific. I think after he shot his last 30-footer 3-point shot, I knew that there was no way the Lakers were winning this game. I mean, they got close. I mean, I'll give them credit. I'll give the Lakers credit a little bit because they got it down to 6. They got it down to the 6-point lead, but it's not enough time and no defense to be stopped. Right when you get a stop, you need to guard the paint. You need to be talking on the defensive end. You need to be switching on the pick and rolls, on the give and goes. There's no excuse. I mean, James Worthy even said you cannot give up these easy baskets, easily guardable baskets that the Lakers did today. It was just honestly, there's just no excuse for that they can do. They put themselves in a bad hole right now, being 36 and 28 now on the year. It's just you got to wake up. But look, they're not physically out of it yet. I think if they were in
at
a
least
lot worse, they could be a lot worse right now. I mean, there could be no AD and LeBron, and then most people would have said there's no way in heck they're making the playoffs right now. But they do have a chance. They have to bounce back. They have to bounce back tomorrow. We play a back-to-back tomorrow, which means you'll catch us tomorrow as well. But Lakers just got to wake up, and you're playing Denver tomorrow, and they already know that that's not going to be easy as well, and they have to just wake up and say, look, we have to get ourselves together. They're playing the same. I'm sure everyone in the chat, by the way, shout out to everybody that's always in the comments. Always appreciate you guys giving your insight and giving your feedback on the game. We love to see it. But they got to bounce back tomorrow. And, honestly, like we were talking about in the pregame show, they're just playing like they did in the bubble. They're not talking right now. My keys to the game was communication. That's why I chose that, because there's no talking on offensive to defensive end, defense to offensive end. And there's too many 3-point shots, too many attempts per game. And Lakers, you're not going to win this game. You're not going to win these games unless you go inside. You have Anthony Davis. You have Andre Drummond for a reason. You have Montrezl Harrell for a reason. You have Marc Gasol for a reason. It's time to wake up. It's time to get inside the paint. It's time to reduce your 3-point shooting, because it is terrible. It is terrible. That is not going to win you the game. Shooting approximately 11 for 29 from 3 is not going to cut that at all. That is 37.5%. That is not going to cut it, Manny.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not going to cut it. And shout out to Tice. I'm very, very happy you have that confidence. That confidence kind of left me just because of that 6-7 game slide. Like, as much as I'm a diehard Laker fan, and you are as well, we all are here on the Ultimate Sports Show, like, I want to stay as confident as possible because I love my team to death. But the thing is, we're playing like we're basically playing like we lost everything. Like LeBron and AD are back. What's the excuse? There's no excuses. I'm sorry. As much as I love this team, we have 2 of our guys back. The fact that we're playing like this is absolutely disgusting. And not in a good way. I don't mean disgusting like this guy did a nice dunk and that was disgusting. I mean disgusting like, blech! Like I'm going to throw up. Basically disgusting like that. I don't know what else to say. My key to the game on the pregame was containing Siakam. Great job, Lakers. great freaking job at containing Siakam. 39 points, 13 rebounds, and he shot 4 for 8 from 3. Remember, Aaron, what I said to you and Medina in the pregame? When I was like,
Yeah.
when I was like, we can't let Siakam get open from 3 because he can shoot. He can shoot the ball. And he proved us right tonight. Kyle Lowry, 8 for 13 from 3. We did a great job at covering the 3. And another thing that I have to bring up, Aaron, you might think I'm crazy saying this, but I think Frank Vogel might be on the hot seat right now. Because as much as I love Frank, he guided us to a championship last year. This year, he has completely lost the team. He's like I'm not gonna say he's as bad as Luke Walton, but he lost the team. He looks like Byron Scott right now. He lost the team. Doesn't know what the hell he's doing. The thing I want to understand is why is Marcus Gasol not playing? Like, I understand he hasn't been that consistent this year, but we can really use his rebounding. We could really use his passing.
Yeah.
But Frank Vogel, you're gonna sit him on the bench. Like, I'm sorry, nobody on this team is safe. I mentioned that on my when I wrote on Twitter. Nobody is safe tonight. I'm calling everybody out. Nobody is safe.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I will honestly say, I think, honestly, your boy Tyson, kind of said something, I agree with too, is Dennis is a big glue piece to this Lakers.
Absolutely.
Obviously nobody likes to see, we don't, let's be real here. The Lakers, okay, LeBron said it best too. I mean, most people heard his press conference that he did Friday, basically saying, look, we haven't all, and this is where, I do respect this part, because I understand this and I get this, because this is exactly similar situation that the 2013 Lakers had, is they have not had a chance to really actually play together and have all those practices together. They haven't had that. The teams hasn't been healthy, where obviously, LeBron and AD are used to playing with each other. That's not a problem. But it's putting the other guys together. Now it's putting in Drummond. It's putting in Dennis Schroeder. It's putting in, different combinations of the lineup. Like, don't get me wrong, they didn't really have that too much time to play together, even during the preseason and then into the regular season. And obviously things look a little different right now. So I will say I do agree with LeBron and aspects of that, saying, look, I understand practice takes time to get your team together and get on the same page. But look, he even said it. The last piece of information he told everybody is, look, it hasn't been the case this year. It's been a shortened season. It was a shortened NBA season as well. Again, hopefully next season obviously will be the normal 82 games, and they'll have a normal training camp and a normal time off, and people will finally be able to rest themselves. But also, I get LeBron saying that because it's not something you could just put together with a snap of a finger. You have to have that time. You have to have that time to build the chemistry with each other, and the Lakers haven't. Nobody has. I mean, if you look at any team in the league, there's nobody that's had their chance to build their chemistry, build what they have. The only way their Lakers and other NBA teams have been building it, because of the every other game situation, that every other day they've been playing a game situation, is a one practice together and the rest of it on the court. They're learning together on the court. You see a lot of it in the game. I saw a lot of it where LeBron was just yelling at his guys on the court, saying, hey, you need to be here. You need to guard this pick and roll. You need to guard this guy from cutting backside on the weak side defense. You have to just communicate on the court, which is, again, why I chose communication as my key, because Lakers are not doing that right now. And look, that is the only part I will give them as an excuse, as the practice time that they haven't had together. I get that. And look, now Schroeder wasn't in the game tonight. You know what? Hopefully he clears health and safety protocols. Obviously we know COVID is still a thing, and the players get tested, so hopefully it was a fluke positive that he got. or whatever the situation may be. But obviously Dennis Schroeder was missed tonight, and that's a big piece of the offense. He's been playing great, and Lakers really needed him tonight.
And an interesting stat I got to put up there about Schroeder.
Yeah,
Now we're 0-5 without Dennis Schroeder in the lineup.
that's crazy.
It's insane. I like that my boy Tice said Dennis is the glue. He's the glue to the team. Absolutely, because yes, I understand. He makes 15 points and 7 rebounds and 5 assists a game, which is a pretty good stat line in my opinion. Which he does every game. But
Yeah,
it's also the small things he does, Aaron, on the court. Those small things, the way he orchestrates everything. He makes such a big difference on the court. He's basically, as much as I love Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder is our third best player.
oh yeah,
The analysts say it, and they're absolutely 100% spot on right. And I agree with what you said, Aaron, about the fact that there was not much practice time because there was just so many new moves. I agree with you, Tyson. Absolutely. We should have added a bye week. The reason why is because we didn't have much of an off season. We had only 72 days to prepare. That's not enough. I understand we're living in a pandemic and we're living with COVID, but before the whole COVID situation, we had June, July, August, September, October. We had 5 months off. Now we only had a month and a half off. That's not much time to prepare. If you're not only for us talking about the Lakers, but even the Miami Heat didn't have much time off because they had the same offseason as us. So that's why also they're struggling and they have a very stacked team. I've been raving about the Miami Heat many times in this show, saying that they're my dark horse team in the East. So that's why those teams are struggling. But we can't obviously use that as an excuse, Laker Nation. We have to we have to keep playing. We have to have our guard up, and we have to keep fighting hard and just keep fighting. We can't stop. It looks like our team just flat out gave up. And I don't want to say that because, do you know how much it would suck though, Aaron? Like the fact that we won the championship last year, this year we end up going down as the 10 or 11 seed. That would low key break my heart.
yeah. I mean, it would break mine too. And you know what? It's not. This is something you've heard me say before.
Yeah.
I said it when we first did our very first show together. Feels like many moons ago now.
Yeah.
But
It does.
I've always said to the beginning when people say, "Oh, Lakers are championship bound. Lakers are final. Oh, Lakers are trying to repeat again." Don't get me wrong. Absolutely, you're trying to repeat, but it's not
Absolutely.
something ever that any basketball fan, whether you're a Lakers fan, whether you're a Clippers fan, whether you're a fan of the game in general, everybody knows. Everybody knows for a fact, and you know what? Even if you're a baseball fan, look, the Dodgers with baseball, they're struggling as well too, and they're going
Heard
through the
about
rough
that.
time that the Lakers are going through as well. So it's an LA thing right now. Um, but if you're going through this kind of situation, you is say, look, I gotta play better. If I want to win, then there's no moment that you have to flip a switch. It's called, you need to flip it now. You need to turn it around before you put yourself even worse. You're already tied for seventh right now. If I'm the Lakers right now, I need to go out there and beat Denver. I have to beat Denver tomorrow. I have to stay a game ahead, and I have to hope Dallas and the other teams lose, because if not, these other teams are going to say, look, we have a chance of getting into the playoffs. Look at what the Lakers put themselves into. Here's our chance to try and take their spot away.
I mean, we'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
We honestly we should beat Denver. Call me crazy, but they don't have Jamal Murray. LeBron can just feast inside, basically. All we have to worry about is one guy, and that's Nikola Jokic. And maybe Michael Porter Jr. because Michael Porter Jr. is an up and coming star in the making. But Aaron Gordon doesn't scare me. Besides those two, Jokic and Porter Jr., being Denver shouldn't be that hard in my opinion. But one good news, like because you mentioned that we're tied with the 7th seed, we're tied with the 7th seed. Good news is that Dallas lost, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Because if imagine Dallas would have won, we would have dropped all the way down to the 8th seed, and then we would have probably had like Utah in the first round, and that's not a team I want to see because as much as like we beat them in overtime the last game we played them, and I know they have Rudy Gobert healthy, Donovan Mitchell is still injured. If Donovan Mitchell comes back healthy, I don't give us a good shot at winning that series. As much as I love the Lakers, I mentioned many times on this show, if there's one team that I'm scared of in the West, it's Utah. And if we get them in the first round, I want to stay as positive as much as I can, Aaron. But if we face Utah in the first round, I don't think we can win that series. I really don't, because our defense looks lost. Our team looks lost. And defensively, those guys are insane. They even got guys like Royce O'Neal that can shoot, Jordan Clarkson that can shoot, and I don't know. I want to stay as positive as I can, but this team is really making me worry.
Yeah. To share with everybody, Anthony Davis spoke on what the Lakers need to turn this around. What do we have to do to turn this around? He said, "Look, energy and effort. We can control the hustle. It starts with our defense. We're giving up way too many points. We have to be better on the end of the floor, and that's going to help us get back to it." Also, Davis did mention as well he's trying to get his full wind getting back to him as well, which I get because that does actually take some time for you to get your wind together and be used to running because it's mostly a running game now. But also, he did mention something big right now as he said, "Arca, me and LeBron plugging ourselves back in on the team is different because and I get that a little bit because I get when you haven't played with your guys basically for 6 to 8 weeks, it is very different when you're pulling them out and having to readjust your entire lineup, readjust your defense, readjust coverages, readjust who's the primary ball handler, and then throw your guys back in the game and expect them to turn it on like that. That's not how basketball works.
Doesn't.
And no matter if you're Brooklyn, no matter if you're the Clippers, no matter if you're the Warriors, no matter who you are, you're not gonna click that fast when someone gets in. When someone's been out for a while, you have to build that confidence back up. And AD basically finished his statement saying, and LeBron actually spoke on that as well, and said, "Look, we have to clean up ourselves. We are very capable of doing that, but it's also very hard when we haven't all been on that. We haven't had a lot of time together, fully healthy."
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like we haven't been healthy this year. But the thing is, Laker Nation, we can't use that as an excuse.
No.
Like, look at the Brooklyn Nets. They haven't had James Harden healthy. There was KD that was dealing with injuries. Kyrie was dealing with personal issues, and look at the Clippers too. They didn't have Kawhi playing for like a few games. We can't use injuries as an excuse. I know we like to do that because we want to see like a silver lining in the team, and but it's not going to work. We need to. We can't use that as an excuse. There's players besides LeBron and AD that need to step up. But the one problem I say, and I say this every show, Aaron. And and the thing I say is that we keep using LeBron James and Anthony Davis as crutches.
Yeah.
When they're not playing, it seems like we're playing like 500 ball. But then when they come back, are like the other guys that are not named LeBron and AD are just like, let's take a step back. And let's let them do everything. You can't expect to win a basketball game on that mindset. Basketball is 5 guys on the court, not just 2 guys. If LeBron and AD are not stepping up to the plate, we gotta have Schroeder shoot the ball. We gotta have Montrezl Harrell step up. We gotta have Marcus Gasol step up. I mean, they didn't play today, but like. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to talk in general with all the Lakers. KCP, Drummond, Caruso, THT, Kuzma. Thing is, and also another thing, Kyle Kuzma is stubborn-headed. I don't know if I don't know if it's Frank Vogel telling him to shoot a lot of threes, or if it's his mindset saying, let me try to be like the second coming of Ray Allen and just shoot a bunch of threes. That's not your game, bro. You can't keep shooting threes. If you're not making your threes, you gotta drive to the lane. You gotta pass the ball. You gotta rebound the ball. Like, I feel like I repeat myself every single show about Kuzma. I'm not gonna stop saying it because I'm sorry, I'm keeping it real. That's how I see the games every day, and that's how it's going, basically.
Hey, hey, we were joking earlier saying maybe it's the hair. I mean,
That was in the pregame, yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's where I would say, honestly, hey, if it actually wasn't, all of a sudden he started scoring 20 points a game, I would say you better go back to your regular hair and you better not change it, because for whatever reason you're trying to be someone that you're not. But obviously, it's frustrating, and we appreciate everybody's comments in here, letting out your frustration as well, because we're all frustrated. I'm sure Genie Bus, I'm sure Palinka, I'm sure obviously LeBron, of all people, him and AD gotta be pissed, and I'm sure LeBron's not gonna really sleep much tonight, because he's already, his ankle's a little sore. Who knows if he's gonna play tomorrow? Hopefully he does play tomorrow. But he's a man that does round the clock treatment like no tomorrow, so I'm sure he's gonna just get treatment and keep his ankle as loose as it can. But and again, there's no excuse. I'm not making any excuse by what I was saying. I want to see this team. Don't get me wrong. I want to see this team fully healthy. Keep it. Is right. Keep your head up. Of course, I always keep my head up. I
try to.
I never will just give up and throw in the towel and say that's it.
Facts.
No more. I don't ever just throw in the towel here. We don't ever do here. None of us will. Because you're dedicated to your team, and that basketball can change any minute. It could It could be overnight. It could be, in another game or two from now. But hopefully it is overnight. But I know we're gonna be fine. We just gotta get ourselves ready to go. And that's the biggest thing. If this Lakers team can stay healthy, we'll be fine.
Absolutely. I'm a diehard fan. I never lose hope. Yes, you see me get mad on Twitter because we're losing and stuff, but I never lose hope. As much as I love my team, I'll never these words in my mouth will never come out I'm turning off the game. I'm done with the freaking Lakers. I'm moving on to a new team. You'll never hear me ever say that. As much as I'm pissed about the Lakers losing, much as I was pissed about the 6 years of rebuilds, I never once in my life said that I was done with the team, because look, Aaron, we can be 82 and or 0-82. I don't care. I'll still be watching every game. I'll still go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning after every game, and wake up for work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yes, you guys can say Manny, your sleep schedule is destroyed, but I do it for my team. I don't care. But honestly, in my opinion, Aaron, about LeBron, yeah. I think he's gonna play. I think he's gonna play tonight. Well, I say tonight because I'm on the East Coast, so yeah. So I think he's gonna play tonight against the Denver, because what is there to say about LeBron? He's 36 years old, and he has the body of a 25-year-old. For him, that injury is probably LeBron's probably I'm just gonna brush it off. I'll be fine. We saw the way Kobe was in his 30s. LeBron's the same. He's gonna get on the court. The injury's gonna be nothing for him. He's probably gonna. I bet you tonight he's probably gonna drop 29, 8 and 8. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't. Yeah. I'm not saying we're gonna win tonight, because I don't know if we will. I'm hoping we do. But I feel like LeBron's is probably going to have a big pep talk in practice. And he's probably going to tell Frank Vogel, he's probably going to be like, Frank, don't you worry. You're forgetting that I'm kind of the coach as well of this team. I kind of run this team, and I kind of run the league as well. So You don't have to worry. I'm gonna step on this court, and I'm gonna give Jokic a piece of my money. And we got an early player to watch and prediction for my boy Tice for LeBron.
Hey,
Triple double.
it's never too early. Obviously, with LeBron, he did say for those that didn't hear, he did say, look, this high ankle injury, he doesn't think he'll ever. Obviously, anytime you ever do an ankle sprain, I sprained my ankle as well, a
Same.
few years ago, and it's been over 10 years or so that I did it. And when you sprain your ankle, it becomes your weaker ankle, and it tends to either you tend to turn it or you tend to, do something to it, and it's always going to be your weaker spot, just like the groin was for him, and now it's the ankle. He said, "I'm never gonna be 100% as I was before that," and that's part of basketball. Look, Kobe Bryant wasn't the same after he tore his Achilles. That
Absolutely.
was his game was completely different. After he tore his shoulder, it was the same thing. You're just never the same. And what we get from LeBron, you're probably gonna get 95% him. You're probably not gonna get the other percentage that we used to have. So, you know, I'd say if anything, the Lakers, we're gonna be okay. But LeBron has to know. Look, it's me and Anthony Davis, and it's the rest of this team. Don't be reliant to those two guys to expect us to win a game.
Exactly.
That's not how basketball will ever work. Um, that's why we lost this game because nobody helped, nobody showed up on the defensive end. Then you get the second quarter is how you lose the game. That is it. First quarter, I mean, for a first quarter was not bad at all. Lakers won the first quarter 38-32. They lost the second quarter 40-21. Kept close in the third and fourth quarter. They actually, believe it or not, Manny, we actually won the fourth quarter at
Really.
30-22. So if you
Okay.
really look at the stats, right? If you really look at the stats, which is kind of it's funny now that I look at it, because if the Lakers would have turned that number around and it would have been maybe almost equal or 21, let's just say 21-25, it could have been a completely different story, because if we won that fourth quarter, that game is completely different. That score is probably reversed.
Of course it is. Absolutely. It's just the thing is we just like played dominant in the first quarter. I notice this every game of the season. We played
Yeah.
really good in the first quarter, and then after that, we're just like, you know what? Let's just chill back and relax and let LeBron and AD do everything. Like you said, you spoke 100% facts, Aaron, when you said that we can't just let LeBron and AD do everything, and I say it too all the time. We can't do that. And another reason why we lost, my boy Tice brought up a great point. Another reason why we lost, we let Siakam and Lowry go for 40 points each. You can't do that. You can't expect to win a game and let your opponent drop 40 points like nothing. Like as much as like the Raptors have a good team, they have a bad record. They're the 11 seed.
Yeah.
You can't let an 11 seed look this dominant. It's embarrassing. There's absolutely no excuses. Like anybody disagreeing with me, like right now, you guys are just making excuses for this team, because I'm keeping it real. When you're not playing defense and you're letting your opponents drop 40 points, how do you expect to win the game? And how do you expect to win the game when you think there's only two guys on the court instead of five guys on the court? You want to know why the reason why we won the championship last year? Because it wasn't just LeBron and AD playing good in the bubble. We had KCP playing well. We had Keith playing well. We had Rondo playing well. We had Dwight Howard playing well. But now it looks like the chemistry, it just fell into the abyss. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like happened, and
Yeah.
and it's absolutely disgusting. And I have no words at all to express that.
You know, um, it's frustrating, but you know what? We're running it back tomorrow as well. Make sure you tune in to the game tomorrow. Lakers obviously play at 7 o'clock, so that means you will see us at 6:30 for the Lakers live post game show. We're gonna get into around the NBA here,
Let's
and
do
I
it.
know there was a lot of games that went on today. A lot of good things that went on around the league. Obviously, the ABC matchup was the Brooklyn Nets and the Bucks. So that was 117, 114. That was a terrific game. I'm sorry. That game tonight, that game earlier, great game. It was a three-point way. It was like 4 seconds to go, and I think they had a chance to tie the game. Obviously, I love close games. We
Same.
were talking about that on Around the NBA a few nights ago,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing is more exciting than just see a team 3-point game. All your stress goes on like be a level like 200 max, and it's
Mm-hmm.
called, am I gonna win this game or am I just gonna come out? And you know what? It was a win in the Bucks case because obviously they have a man named Giannis that went to work 49 on the defensive list, Brooklyn Nets as well. Um, and obviously let's shout out this as well. Durant had 42 in the game too, and they lost. Giannis was the star. I mean, to be totally honest, he's the reason why they won that game. You dropped 49 or almost 50 points in the game, obviously just like Tatum did when they dropped 60 and they came back from a 30-something point deficit. You're gonna
Yeah.
win the game. You have to almost win that game in that case.
Yeah. What's there to say about Giannis Antetokounmpo? There's a reason why he's the two-time defending MVP.
Yeah.
This man drops 49 points, 8 rebounds, and don't forget, what do I always say, guys? But when power forwards and centers shoot threes, I love that because it is a 3-point shooting league. But when the big men are shooting it, you know it's exciting. By the way, peace out, Tice. Glad you joined us.
Thanks
But
for joining me, Heis.
but back to what I was saying about the
Yeah.
Bucks game. Yeah, it wasn't only Giannis. I know Giannis played amazing, but you got a guy named Chris Middleton who's an absolute stud. And I always say that like the Bucks need another guy to like to like compliment him, but I feel like Chris Middleton's is like a good guy to compliment him. I just feel like they need another piece. I would say like a point guard, an elite point guard would actually complement this team amazing. I feel like in the offseason, if the Bucks can get their hands, I'm not talking about like Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is more of a 2 than a 1. I'm talking about like an actual point, like an elite point guard. If they can get an elite point guard in the offseason,
Yeah.
I think the Bucks are running away with the East next year, in my opinion. But Chris Middleton is obviously like insane. 26 points, 11 rebounds, 3 for 7 from 3, 11 for 21 from the field. They shot 49% from the field, 40% from the 3. The Nets, this is the media. This is the team that the media absolutely hypes up all the time. But I gotta give my credit where my credit's due.
Yeah, always.
KD always absolutely. KD is I know he played 40 minutes, but 42 points in 40 minutes. That's actually a very underrated stat. In 40 minutes, he dropped 42. He had 10 rebounds, 7 for 13 from 3. This guy is 6'11". His wingspan is like what? Like 7'4", 7'5". It's incredible. I've always said that like in the 2010s, like in the mid 2010s, like the analysts would always say like LeBron, KD, like who's the better player between them? That's why it's
Yeah.
so neck and neck. I say it's LeBron. I've been saying it's been LeBron for the past like 7-8 years. But but if you guys want to say KD is better, I honestly I don't mind if you say that because of his wingspan, the fact that he can catch and shoot from anywhere. Yes, I know people want to call him a snake because of him leaving the Thunder after a 3-1 lead to the team that beat him, but he still got his job done. He still won his rings, and he's still very elite. Kyrie Irving, 20 points. He actually almost flirted with a triple double. 7 rebounds and 6 assists. He was 3 rebounds and 4 assists shy of a triple double. Very good game from Kyrie Irving. And Blake Griffin, great pickup. I've always been a big fan of Blake Griffin. I wanted the Lakers to actually get him, I'll be honest. and I actually saw the highlights before, like while we were live on not while we were live, before we went live on TSN, and there was and he did like a ferocious dunk. It's good to know that he hasn't lost his Lob City days, that he still knows how to dunk the basketball. And another thing, Landry Shamet, that we're talking about a former Clipper. We'll talk about another former Clipper in Landry Shamet.
Oh yeah.
Like the Nets did an amazing pickup to get Landry Shamet. I said that in the offseason. I was like, wow, they actually got Landry Shamet. This guy can shoot, and he's young. He's very, very young. I still think the Lakers should have drafted him back in 2018, because remember when we took Mo Wagner at the 25th pick?
Absolutely.
The 26th pick after was Landry Shamet. And I was like, Lakers, what are you doing? Landry Shamet was still on the clock. But look, it is what it is. We can't rewrite history, but
Yeah.
But honestly, great game by the Nets and the Bucks. If you're a Nets fan, props to you. You almost won that game. I feel like if you had James Harden, you would have probably blew him out.
Yeah. Let's get into the other games too as well. Portland and Boston. That was pretty close to being a one-sided game. 129 to 119. Portland took care of business. Obviously, we're gonna be seeing them very soon. The Lakers will be seeing them soon. Dame Dollar, man. I mean, hey, he just, even when on a good day, if you get him under 40, he'll still give you 26 points in the game.
Absolutely.
Obviously, they're a competitor. McCollum as well. It was McCollum's night mostly. He had the highest scoring with 33 points as well. Obviously, Tatum matched him too, which just, I mean, I'm sorry, that just adds exciting matchups. You've got your star players out there battling, grabbing points, going at each other, attacking the rim, banking threes in there. That's just absolute fun basketball. I mean, they both actually shot almost the same percentage from three tonight. The one was 51 and one was 50. So, when you go 51% overall shooting as well throughout the game, and 50+% from three, I just love those exciting games. Even if it gets a little ugly, it's just nice to see when you see two teams just going at it each other.
Oh, without a doubt. And Portland fans, what time is it? It's Dame time. We know the way he plays. Even when I like how you said that, Aaron. If he doesn't get 40, he's still gonna drop an easy 26 on you. And even if Dame doesn't try hard, like you can tell he's still gonna drop 20, 30 on your head.
Oh yeah.
3 for 9 from 3. He had 13 assists. This is like a shoot first point guard playing like CP3 and Rondo back in the day, with 13 assists and 26 points. It's insane. There's a reason why he's one of the best players in the league. Norman Powell. I've always said this after the deadline, that the Raptors and the Blazers did an amazing trade between Powell and Trent Jr., because I don't feel like any team lost that trade. Both teams got two great shooters. And Norman Powell, 4 for 6 shooting, 8 for 15 from the field, 23 points. But the real star, like you said, CJ McCollum with 33 points, 4 for 8 shooting. The Blazers have so much firepower. It's just I have to feel bad for that fan base, because even though they make the playoffs every year, they come short every single season. If you're a Blazers fan, you're really, really loyal, because it's not like the organization puts much next to Damian Lillard and McCollum. Like, if they had another guy, I think they would be finals contenders, in my opinion. But let's talk a bit about the Boston Celtics as well.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum. The guy will always get mentored by Kobe, and it's showing, because you could even, like, Aaron, like living in Montreal, we're not that far from Boston. We're like 4.5 hours away. So I catch quite a few Celtics games, and Tatum is insane. Like, he's emulated his game so much from Kobe. The way he moves, his mid ranges, his fadeaways. Like, it's insane. 33 points, 5 assists, 4 for 5 from shooting from 3. Then you got Evan Fournier, who I said the Lakers should have got. If I was saying either Fournier or Redick, Boston just steals Evan Fournier at the deadline, which is insane because he's a great shooter. I know a lot of people don't talk about him because the Orlando Magic, they're a small market team, so most casual NBA fans probably don't even know what Evan Fournier is because of that. But he's a lethal shooter. 21 points, 5 for 7 from 3. If he wouldn't have missed 2 of them, he would have been perfect from 3, which is insane. Jaylen Brown, he had a pretty bad night, 1 for 9 from 3. Man, you're looking like Jaylen Brown. You're looking like Kyle Kuzma right there, just chucking up threes and not making smart plays, in my opinion. But their bench looks like really good because I feel like they drafted very well. And I don't remember when we were on Vince's locker room, we were talking a bit about the Celtics saying that their rookies have been showing up.
Oh yeah. Also have to.
Absolutely.
I know we're talking about Tatum as well. Manny, like, would you believe, like, Jason Tatum? I don't know if you knew this. His season right now, 2021 season stats right now, he's putting up 26 a game, 7.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and his player efficiency rating is ranked 26th in the league with 21.33. He's 23 years old.
Yeah.
He's 23 years old. That is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I appreciate his game so much. I mean, obviously,
same.
Boston better hold on to him because if they don't hold on to him, obviously he is very much cruising to be a Kobe Bryant of a generation as well. Even though he's a 3-guard,
absolutely.
Even though he's a traditional forward, he's cruising that way in that direction. I just love his game, man.
Same here. And being a diehard Lakers fan, it's kind of hard to root for the Celtics, but like we got to give credit where credit's due. Jason Tatum is literally like he's literally trying to copy his game from Kobe, and you can tell that was his favorite player growing up. It was my favorite player growing up, obviously. That's why I became such a diehard Laker fan. But back to what we were saying about the Celtics bench, their rookies. Me and you were on our boy Vince's locker room during the Wizards game. We're talking about the Celtics bench and their young guys. Do you have 2 rookies in Aaron Nesmith and Peyton Pritchard? They played out of their minds tonight. 16 points. Aaron Nesmith shot 4 for 4 from 3. Didn't miss 1 3, which is incredible. Peyton Pritchard 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 for 5 from 3. Celtics can draft. I mentioned this, and I'm still gonna mention this. As much as like we're not the fans of the Celtics, like they can draft. Danny Ainge is one of the most smartest minds in basketball, in my opinion. Like, he always knows what he's doing in the front office.
Oh yeah, he's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. He knows what he's doing. The Celtics are playing some good basketball right now. They're 40 of the Celtics currently are 34-31. So yeah, the record doesn't speak to how they've been playing and how Tatum's been playing. But don't get me wrong, they have a chance as well making the playoffs, going deep, and you never know where things could look. I mean, we can't predict who's going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, who's going to be in the Western Conference Finals. We don't know. Nobody knows. Everything's up in the air, which is great about basketball. Heat and the Hornets. Miami is getting their acts together a little bit. They're only 5 games above 500. They're for 35-30 on the year. Obviously, the Hornets 31-33. LaMelo, man, I meant Manny. He's making some crazy play almost every game that he's been back. I mean, he's just an excellent passer. And I think obviously Jordan's gonna hold on to this one. I mean, he better. I mean, he didn't. I feel like he never held on to Kemba as long as he did, and look what happened to Kemba Walker. So, I definitely think LaMelo is making some great progress here. Just continues to go out there and compete. And you know what? Obviously, it didn't work out for them as well as Miami got the win. But I mean, he's just fun to watch, and I can't say enough about the kid.
The Hornets are such an underrated team in general, in my opinion,
Oh
Aaron.
yeah,
But I like what you said about Michael Jordan, the fact that he should keep LaMelo Ball the way Danny Ainge is keeping Jason Tatum. Those two are franchise guys, and LaMelo Ball, I don't care what anyone is saying, he is running away with Rookie of the Year. I don't think anyone's gonna catch him in that award. He's
yeah.
by far like Rookie of the Year without a doubt. I know this game he didn't play great, but he's still the Rookie of the Year without a doubt because, like you said, the plays that he makes is incredible. But the Hornets are such a fun team to watch in general because they have such a fun young core. Miles Bridges is always doing highlight reel dunks every night. He had 15 points with 4 rebounds, 5 assists. PJ Washington is in my opinion one of the most underrated players in basketball. I picked him up on my basketball fantasy team just because I love his game. Like he's kind of
Yeah.
he's kind of a hybrid between a 4, a 5, and a 3. I feel like he's kind of like, he could be kind of like a small ball center, and he could kind of be a wing. Like he's kind of a hybrid between that. Like I remember back in 2019 when the Charlotte Hornets drafted him, I was like, wow, you guys got an amazing pick. PJ Washington is so good, and they even have a bit of a good bench. Jalen McDaniels can shoot. He was a good pick for them in the second round. I think in that draft, with 12 points, 3 for 5 from shooting, 9 rebounds. But props to the Miami Heat. I said they're my dark horse team in the East, and look, for me, it's not about the records, Aaron. It's about how the team is constructed. If you're good on defense and if you have depth, and if you have stars,
Exactly.
obviously. Like look at the Miami Heat, how deep they are. Not only do they have Jimmy Butler that can give you 18, 8, and 8 on a night, but they even have a young stud and one of the best young big men in all of basketball, in my opinion, in Bam Adebayo. 20 points. And listen to how crazy the stat line is, Aaron. He's the 5 on Miami Heat,
Yeah.
and he dropped 10 dimes, 10 assists. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's so good, and even 7 rebounds. He's a center, and he was about to pull up a Nikola Jokic stat line, getting a triple double as a center. That's insane. And Kendrick Nunn, the another thing I gotta bring up with Miami, they're shooting. They have Kendrick Nunn. They have Duncan Robinson. They even got Iggy last year, which is insane. They have Keezy Opala. They have Dwayne Dedman. They have Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic is basically their main facilitator. But it looks like he played on the bench. I don't know why Eric Spoelstra would play him on the bench. Like, don't ask me. I didn't watch the game, but like I don't know why he was playing 30 minutes off the bench. Kind of puzzling move there, but the Miami Heat even got Trevor Ariza at the deadline. I know he didn't really show up much, but we all, us here in Laker Nation, we all remember him in 2009. What a big part he was in the championship season. He's not someone that's gonna show big on the stat line.
Yeah.
He's basically like he's kind of like an Alex Caruso. He's someone that makes a big impact, but you don't really see it on the stats. And that's why I love that they got them. You can never have too many wings in the NBA because they just make so much happen, and because most wings in the NBA today are basically 3 and D, so it's always fun watching wings that can score and wings that can defend in the NBA, in my opinion.
Yeah. Let's get into Sacramento and Dallas. Obviously, we know Sacramento was the topic of a conversation already. Um, the Kings won again. Yeah, they beat the Mavericks. We already know we know the situation that is going on in the Western Conference Finals as well, or the Western Conference as well. But I mean, hey, the Kings might not be playing for much at all, but I mean, they're still a decent team. Buddy Hield. We know obviously he went off against the Lakers a few nights ago, and you know what? He continues to play great. He had 27 points. Marvin Bagley got 23 points. Um, those guys are great. Obviously, Luke obviously doesn't have a record to really speak on, but they
True.
got great pieces in Sacramento, and you know what? Hey, you beat the Dallas Mavericks, and you beat a team with Luca, and obviously, you know, you beat you beat a great team. You beat a good team with we love a good Boban, and we love a good Finney Smith and Dwight Powell. Uh, but you know what? It is basketball, and we know that these kind of things happen. And hey, Sacramento got lucky tonight.
Oh, did they ever? They've been pulling up a lot of upsets. They beat us, and then they beat the Mavericks, which is absolutely insane, Aaron. But I think basically the reason why is because their team hasn't been healthy this year. Like Marvin Bagley played his first game when he played the Lakers, and now he played his second game against the Mavericks. So I think if this team was healthy, they'd probably be fighting for the play-in tournament without a doubt. They have a good roster. But the thing is, the Aaron Fox hasn't played. But Marvin Bagley, like a lot of analysts like to critique him, saying
Yeah.
was he really worth the number 2 pick in the 2019 draft? But sorry, I meant 2018 draft. But he's been turning out fine. He's a very physical and dominating player. He gave you 23 and 9 this game, the Sacramento. So can't complain about that. Rashawn Holmes, he's been an absolute stud ever since he went to Sacramento last year.
Yeah.
He's been like their small ball center. I know Marvin Bagley's a little taller than Rashawn Holmes, but Rashawn Holmes can still body you. He can still score in the paint, and it proved that by getting 17 points and 7 rebounds. Tyrese Halliburton shot pretty well from the three. He didn't have the game he had against the Lakers, but he still gave you 11 and 5, pretty decent. But Buddy Hield, this is a guy that I love watching play because he's just like an average shooter in basketball that like makes your team a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like the Sacramento Kings would be in a worse position without Buddy Hield. He's basically the heart and soul of that team, in my opinion. The guy just casually dropped a 27-point game with 6 rebounds and shot 6 for 10 from 3. Incredible stuff, in my opinion. And also shout out to former Laker on that 10-day contract, Damian Jones.
Jones.
Damian Jones. We all remember him. I wanted
Oh
to
yeah.
keep him, but we have so many 4s and 5s on our team, so it wasn't gonna happen. But he had a great game. 9 points, 4 rebounds, shot 4 for 4 from the field. I still remember on the Lakers he had an amazing percentage like that. So if he's doing that for Sacramento, if Sacramento wants to still keep fighting to make that play in tournament, hey, you got 9 games left. Like
Anything
don't
can
quit
happen.
now, in my opinion.
Anything can happen, honestly, with
Anything
the
can
way the
happen.
league is. Also, forgot to also mention whose name I totally blanked out on. The Dallas was also playing without Christoph Porzingis tonight, which
Wow.
obviously he could have helped change their game as well. But it was what it was, and it's basketball, But obviously, we got to mention this team because they've been playing great, and we've talked about them. The Knicks, Manny, the Knicks won again. 122
Wow.
to 97. They're the Knicks. Believe it or not, any New York fans out there, the Knicks are 36 and 28 on the year, and they are playing basketball. Julius Randle, I am so happy that he found a home in
Same.
New York. I mean, not Brooklyn because New York's better than Brooklyn anyhow. But he found a home there. Obviously he's got R.J. Barrett as well, and obviously when you add in D Rose and looking like prime D Rose, I mean he got 24 points in the game. I mean maybe he's just feeling a Kobe effort tonight. Um, but obviously
It's
him,
true.
Randall, and Bullock and R.J. Barrett were just dealing tonight. Those guys are fun.
Without a doubt. I'm with you on that. I'm so happy for Julius Randle. And I'm so happy for the
Yeah.
Knicks. The New York Knicks have been suffering for so long, and they're finally a good basketball team again. Like, can you, like, I've been to New York about 5 times, It sucks that there's a pandemic going on that I can't go to the States, but
Yeah.
I would have loved to go to New York to watch the Lakers play the Knicks. Like, can you imagine if that was an NBA Finals, how much money the league would generate? The two biggest markets in sports. But let's talk about Julius Randle a bit.
Yeah.
For As a Laker fan, I'm so happy he found a home. I'm so happy that he's comfortable. He didn't look comfortable in that 1 year with New Orleans, and last year with the Knicks, he looked like he was, depressed that he was playing for that team. But now, it seems like now that the Knicks are a good team, so he's like, you know what? I'm ready to go to work. I'm ready to dominate. And everybody that doubted me, look what I'm about to do to you. And this is what he's doing this year. 31 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Forte with a triple-double. And he shot 4 for 9 from 3. Julius Randle, I correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, but on the Lakers, I didn't really see him shooting much threes. He became like a 3-point shooter on the Knicks. He's been shooting a lot of threes. I've been watching a bit of Knicks games this year, and I've seen that from him. Reggie Bullock, another former Laker. We all know he can shoot as well. 11 points, 3 for 6 from 3. RJ Barrett, their third overall pick in 2019.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a bad pick. RJ Barrett, also shout out to Canada. He's from Mississauga, so we know how good he is here. And Steve Nash must be happy because that's his godfather. So I'm sure Steve Nash is looking and he's like, you know what? I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer in this league. My godson's gonna be next.
Hey, it's crazy, and also, shout out to Cheryl here. Good insight, and knowledgeable. You need to promote the show through the chat. Hey, we're getting there. Obviously everybody's still finding out about us, but we appreciate the comments as well. It was, it's crazy that we're getting around to everyone. We appreciate it. We love it. And thanks for tuning in as well. I mean, you can always follow our social media accounts, Facebook and YouTube primarily. We even stream to other platforms like Twitch as well. But also back to what you were saying as well, Manny. Obviously with the Knicks have just been playing great, to be honest. To get in with the Knicks, they've been playing great. Obviously, Houston, we know what happened to Houston. The record speaks for themselves. They kind of completely fell off the train when James Harden left that team. They just kind of took a downfall, and they're basically in rebuilding mode. And obviously it'd be great to see every team. When it comes to the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, it would be great to see every team playing well and having such an edge over, I want this spot and I want this spot. At the end of the day, it happens. Lakers have been through it. The Warriors have been going through it as well. The Kings have been going through it. And, you just got to rebuild. You got to draft right. And just eventually add pieces in there and make Houston a reasonable town to have a championship basketball in it as well.
Yeah, I don't think Rockets fans are that upset because they've been going through so many playoff meltdowns for the past 8 to 9 years. So they're probably like, you know what? I mean, I'm talking about the smart Rockets fans. They're probably looking at it as an aspect like, look, we've gone through so many playoff meltdowns. We know we're not winning a championship. Let's start from scratch. Let's rebuild, and that's a very smart thing to do in sports. You need to take a few steps back, take a few steps forward. That's how it is. And but I like the way their direction is going because they have guys who can actually play. They have young guys that are actually respectable, in my opinion, in Christian Wood. And I know he didn't have a good game, but he's definitely top 2, top 3 in the NBA for Rookie of the Year voting. Jayshawn Tate. This guy has been very, very good lately. Because, guys, I have League Pass, so I watch some of these games when the Lakers aren't playing. So I've seen Jayshawn Tate. There's a few times where he dropped 22 points, 20 points, 18 points. He's actually a very solid player, and I think he was undrafted, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he went the second round at all. And the fact that they even have Kenyon Martin Jr., that was a good second round pick, in my opinion, for them. Hold on a second. Technical difficulties. I'm back. But
You're good.
as I was saying, they even got like in a massive trade that they did to get Kevin Porter Jr. And I think there was one game like a few weeks ago where he dropped like 50 points. He's really good. Like I'll admit the Rockets are headed in the right direction. People might say like if you're tanking that you suck, but you can't look at that standpoint because if you're rebuilding, you know where your direction is going to be. You know that you're not going to look subpar. As a Laker fan, I went through that for the past 6 years. We knew that we weren't going to contend when Kobe went down with injuries, and we had a starting lineup of like Robert Sacre and Ryan Kelly and Nick Young. So we knew our team wasn't going to look great. But the
Yeah.
Rockets actually have guys like Christian Wood and so on and so forth that could possibly get them that hump. And I think they can return to the playoffs in the next 3 to 4 years from now, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely will say that those guys can get back. Um, you know, when it comes to when honestly when it comes to basketball here, um, teams will bounce back. Um, no matter what your record is, the Lakers finally bounced back as well. The Clippers obviously went through the worst drought they've ever had. Clippers had went through terrible, terrible, terrible seasons,
True.
years after years after years of not being relevant. As soon as they got Chris Paul, the rest was history for them. They've turned their organization around. They become a winning town as well to keep up with the Lakers. And it's good. Obviously they haven't gotten to the championship aspects of it yet. But it's good to see towns where your teams are competitive and it's not just one sided person, just one team taking over. If you have two teams in the same area, you know what? You want them to be competitive. Just like
Yeah.
if it's baseball, you want to have two baseball teams that be competitive, both be possible chance at meeting for something big, and that's exactly what the Lakers and the Clippers hope for. That's exactly what other teams hope for, and it's all part of basketball. Um, Obviously get in the last two games of the night, Suns, Thunders, Sixers, and Spurs. Obviously, shout out to the Phoenix Suns again for clinching their playoff spot, first time since 2010. Obviously, we know
Yep.
that was a lucky year, and a big Western Conference matchup that year, as everyone remembers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't say enough of how good it is and how exciting it is to see Phoenix have a winning team out there. 46-18 on the year. They are playing some incredible ball, Manny.
Like we talked about the Knicks, the Suns as well. That's another suffering fan base.
Yeah,
They haven't made the playoffs since 2010. Obviously, we know what happened in 2010. We beat the Suns in 6 games in the conference finals.
yeah,
But honestly, they haven't. When was they made the finals? Like the Jordan days, I think was the last time they made the finals. Probably when they had Charles Barkley, and honestly, they're. I'm just so happy to see them do good because Devin Booker. I've been saying this, Aaron, for the longest time that Devin Booker needs an elite point guard with him. If he gets an elite point guard with him, I guarantee you Phoenix is gonna have a great season. And I was right. As much as I didn't want Chris Paul because his contract is so large, Chris Paul just complements Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton so freaking well. It's incredible the things that he does. Chris Paul at his age, at 36 years old.
yeah,
Like let's actually start with Chris Paul. The fact that he had 18 and 11. This guy's been averaging like 18 and 11 in his whole career, and he has no time slowing down. He doesn't slow down. He's still playing like he's in his prime. And yes, I know that he shot 2 for 5 from three, but 18 and 11 is absolutely insane. Then you have Devin Booker. What can I say about him? One of the best shooting guards, one of the best premier shooting guards in the NBA, without a doubt, in my opinion, a top 20 player in basketball, without a doubt, with 32 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot the ball quite a bunch of times. But if it's Devin Booker, shoot, go ahead and shoot. You're a shooting guard, so I mean your shooting percentage might not look bad, but if you're making most of your shots,
Yeah.
go ahead and shoot.
Oh,
Then
exactly.
then you got DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
Didn't shoot the ball much. I don't know what happened to DeAndre Ayton there, but I mean they won the game, so I don't think they're complaining really. But
No.
props to the Oklahoma City Thunder for keeping it close.
Oh
They're
yeah.
eliminated from playoff contention, so their job right now is to basically cause upsets to the playoff teams. And they almost did that to Phoenix. They almost beat them. A bad Thunder team almost beat the Phoenix Suns. And I mean, I can't really say they're a bad team because we know what direction they're going in. They're basically the same as the Houston Rockets. They're going for the rebuild. They're going for either Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley. But I gotta give props to their young guys. Theo Maledon, 18 points, 3 for 6 shooting. Darius Bazley, 19 points, 9 rebounds. Darius Bazley's so underrated. Like I've watched him play. I've watched his dunking game. He is such an underrated young guy to watch. Even though the Thunder don't win a lot of games, like I mentioned before that I have League Pass. Like when I watch some Thunder games, they're very fun to watch. They remind me a lot of the 2017 and 2018 Lakers. They remind me of that. They're just the whole team. I don't think there's one guy on that team besides Al Horford that's old. The rest of that team is all like 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 years old. Like it's so fun to watch teams like that just compete, and I think the Thunder will be very, very fun, especially when you have Sam Presti leading them with trading for like a bunch of draft picks that they have. Like I read the stat line, Aaron, a few months ago, and I'm still blown by the whole thing. Not really a stat line, but you know what I'm trying to say. The fact that they had 17 first round picks, 17 second round picks from now till 2027. That's insane. Like, can you imagine if they're in playoff contention? Can you imagine one day they win a championship and they end up with the first overall pick because they have a draft pick from some mediocre team and down the line? That would be absurd.
Yeah. That'd be crazy. I mean, they have, what did we figure out? They have like close to 20 something draft picks or something like that. They are, they're stacked with draft picks. I mean, it's unheard of. I don't think I've ever heard any team at all have like more than 10 picks at the most. Um, Obviously they'll eventually go somewhere. They're saving it for the draft as well as the Kings, obviously, as well as the Rockets. They're trying to avoid what they can, and it takes time too. And the Thunder went through a long phase of prime from 2011, probably about from 2011 to about a year or two ago. And they had a run. They had a great run with the teams that they had. Obviously, it happens. It happens to every team. I mentioned it already. And it's just all part of basketball. But the last game we got to get into is 76ers and the Spurs. I mean, obviously, we know what Philly's been doing this year. They're 113-111, won a close game actually with San Antonio. That went to overtime, so we love a good old fashioned overtime game. That
Absolutely.
game, obviously, Embiid was a monster tonight. Seth Curry, I think he kind of feels like he wants to be his brother a little bit at times. He dropped 22 points in that game. Danny Green, 11 points in the game. Dwight Howard showed up a little bit, 14 and 11. They're just playing. Tobias Harris didn't do too much, but they're playing great. They should be talked about even more too. Embiid should be talked about a little bit because hey, he has a chance of winning the MVP this year.
Oh, absolutely, he does. My money's still on Jokic to win the MVP or Steph Curry,
True, yeah.
but honestly, don't sleep on Embiid. And the thing is, the media is sleeping on the Sixers, like you said, because the Nets really have like the spotlight in the East. And that's why everybody's talking about them because they have the 3 stars. But the fact that they have Embiid and Simmons, this team, you can't say nothing about them. I know Simmons hasn't been playing great this year, but Joel Embiid, 34 points, 12 rebounds. He's a beast.
Yeah.
He literally is like if not for Jokic being a little bit better, in my opinion, like Joel Embiid would be the best big man in basketball, and without a doubt, he is so good, so dominant. He goes in the paint, just goes to work, and just does it all. Seth Curry playing like his brother exactly. Oh my God, 6 for 6 from three. He didn't miss one three. He literally is trying to emulate his brother's game right there. And
Oh yeah.
shout out to Dwight Howard, won a championship with us last year. He off the bench, he gets 14 points, 11 rebounds. It's a good six man. If you got Dwight Howard, that's a very good six man because and that's the perfect backup for Joel Embiid because yeah, Dwight Howard is not the young Dwight Howard as we used to see in the Magic, but he's still a very great player. We saw him last year and we're seeing him this year. So, like, if it happens that Embiid does get an injury down the line, the Sixers will still be okay because they have a solid backup that possibly could start for them because Dwight has started a few games for us last year. So that's why I believe that. But a very close game. Shout out to the San Antonio Spurs. I know they're trying to compete. They're trying to go for the play-in tournament. They got a very young team as well that could compete, in my opinion. In actually Lonnie Walker, guys like Lonnie Walker that can get 23 points, 3 for 6 from three. Gorgie Zhang, that was a nice pickup for the Spurs, in my opinion. Like a nice solid backup center as well. Like Gorgie Zhang getting 17 points, and he can shoot threes. That's another big man that can shoot threes. He got 3 for 4 from the three. Incredible stuff. Keldon Johnson, 19 points, 2 for 4 from three. Rudy Gay, no matter how old he's getting, Rudy Gay is still looking good at 18 points, 10 rebounds. I can't believe he's still in the league. Like, half of these guys that I watched when I was a kid are still in the NBA and they're still playing really well. I remember when I was a kid, Rudy Gay. I remember him when he was on the Toronto Raptors. He was really good. And Drew Ebanks, another solid guy with 10 points, 5 for 8 shooting, 6 rebounds. The Spurs can possibly make the play-in tournament. I'm not ruling out the Spurs one bit. And watch when they get DeMar DeRozan back. They can be dangerous to watch.
They're dangerous. They're always a threat. And anytime you have a team with Popovich still going strong,
absolutely.
They're still going to be a threat. Obviously, they've had some rough games this year as well, just like other teams have. But Manny, can you believe we're gonna be running a back-to-back tomorrow?
I'm not totally happy about that. I don't like back-to-backs, but you know, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do.
It is what it is. We're back at it tomorrow with Lakers Live pregame show starting at 6:30 tomorrow. Nuggets and the Lakers playing, and then we will maybe try and get a bonus of Around the NBA Part 2. We'll see how that goes.
Absolutely.
But that is going to do it for us for Around the NBA segment, and a nice, well-earned show that we've done. Thanks to everybody that's been in the comments. We appreciate every one of you. We appreciate you guys reaching out. We keep doing what we're doing. And from Manny, Medina, and myself, I'm Aaron. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night. And as we cruise into Monday, we'll see you soon.
Peace.